Hello, my horror book maggots. So this weekend I finished The Nightmare Girl by Jonathan Janz. Jonathan Janz was one of the authors that was at the horror book signing convention that I went to a couple of weekends ago. I did not get a chance to meet him or buy The Nightmare Girl. I wanted to, but by the time I would have had the opportunity to meet him, it was later in the day, and by that time my anxiety was already kicking in pretty strongly, so I knew I had to leave soon, and I was ready to leave, so I didn't get a chance to meet him, unfortunately. I did very much enjoy The Nightmare Girl. It is about a father named Joe Carpenter, and he's at the gas station with his wife and I believe she is 2 or 3-year-old daughter, and he is pumping his gas, just a typical evening, and out of the corner of his eyes he sees a woman. She looks like she's what you would kind of consider trashy, and she's pumping gas, and then in the back seat of her van is a toddler that's probably only like a year old, and he's just a yowling, just a screaming because he's in a bad mood. And then there's a young woman that's maybe not even 20 in the front seat, and she's just glaring daggers at the little baby screaming in the back seat. And Joe just starts getting a sinking feeling in his gut, and is just kind of watching because the kid's just yowling, and he can see he realizes that the woman in the van is the mom to this baby in the back seat, and the woman pumping the gas is actually the grandma. And he's like, oh geez, hurry up, get on the road. Mom is at the end of her rope. That's, if it's colicky baby, she's had enough. You can just see. And every mother and every father, you get to that point where you've just been putting up with a crying baby for so long, you're just like, I can't take it anymore. And when you're in a small vehicle, I imagine that it's even more stressful, and people are turning and looking and wondering, oh my gosh, control your child. There's so much judgment in this world. So anyway, he's not judging. He's just like, oh, this is that poor mom and the poor baby. And then he turns to start pumping his gas, finish pumping his gas, and all of a sudden he just hears a whack, and then another whack, and he sees the young mother like turned around and beating this infant, 1-year-old baby in the back seat, to the point where the child has like blood on his nose, and his face is swollen, and his lips are swollen. I mean, it's not just a smack, she is wailing on this kid. So then he's a father to a young child himself, and he's not going to just stand by and let somebody wail on a child. So he goes up and he grabs the mom's hand to stop her, and then she turns around and she attacks him, and then her mom, the grandmother, jumps on him. And so basically then this man gets in the middle of a fight with these two women, all because he didn't want to see this little baby get beaten up at a gas station. And thankfully there's a crowd that has witnessed everything, that knows that he was trying to do the right thing, so he doesn't have to worry about getting arrested himself. And then the gas station attendant comes out and he tells the two women to get off his lot. And anyway, so then the two women are just glaring daggers at Joe. Joe goes home. He gets visited by the police, including one Daryl Copland. On that name, Joe and Daryl end up becoming friends later on in the story. And Daryl's like, yep, so the women were arrested for assault, and the child was taken away and is now in foster care, and this isn't their first time in trouble, so the child's probably going to be taken away for a while. Joe is a struggling contractor, and the reason he's struggling is because he's very honest. If he thinks that a job, that there could be underlying fees with a job, he's going to tell that to people. So he's struggling with that. And then in the meantime, the grandmother and her daughter are coming around and just standing outside of his house and harassing him and totally blaming him for them losing the baby named Stevie. And then the daughter, the baby's mother, Stevie's mother, ends up getting so depressed that she ends up unaliving herself with fire. And then the grandmother really loses her mind and really blames Joe and his family. And so then the story goes on from there about how it ends up that this crazy family was part of a ancient cult, and that they're from like the bloodline of the cult's ultimate leader. And now, you know, they're bringing in all this magic and stuff in order to basically bring down Joe and his family. And very, very fast paced. I finished the audiobook, which was between 6 to 8 hours. I finished it in like 2 days because I just kept wanting to listen to it to find out what happens next. And very action packed, gets pretty gruesome towards the end. I think it would make a really good movie. It wasn't scary, but it was creepy and just like, So if you do get a chance to read it, I highly, highly recommend it. It is a fantastic read. It's an easy read because it is so fast paced and well written. And yeah, until next time, remember, you are enough just the way you are, and go get lost in some pages. Bye.